Guys, welcome back again to the channel. This is a market update. Probably you'll be receiving these on Monday or maybe before Monday, right? Let's look into what happened this ended week or this week. Today is Saturday, and what is probably likely to happen next week. And I'll try much to do some pairs, Euro USD and the like. Let's see what happens in the past week and what's likely to also happen in the coming week. Let's go into this video. So first of all, let's deal with this particular pair, my favorite pair, UJ. And guys, I'm gonna give you like an update on my funded account. 5K funded account is really going hell with me on my 5K funded account, but we'll see what happens next. Without a shred of a doubt. This is the daily time frame. I've already marked my zones. Usually I do mark my zones. And so this, let me do this real quick and see this to the full. Exactly. This is what is happening here. Now the market has given us higher highs, higher lows. And currently you could see that in the monthly, we've had an accumulation here for a very long time. You could see that in weekly, it's pretty much nothing really happened. But if you say you look at the market from the higher time perspective and make decisions with a higher time perspective with regards to buying or selling, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's just going to guide your decision from the higher time frame. Your higher time frame guides your decision into the lower time frame, but you cannot buy and sell in the higher time frame. So to say, you are making decisions in the higher time frames. So the daily, this is how it's going. And UJ moves a lot, and that is the reason why I like it. If you watch here, daily movement, you could see that UJ really moved a lot, Every trader will be very happy to trade UJ. It moves a lot. Now, look at this past week here. We went up and continue going up. Like we went up the last week, this current week, this just ended week, we continue going up, and now boom, a flash, red big candle, okay, almost a Maribozu candle, but it has some small wicks, so that is on a Maribozu candle. Let's come to the 4H. I did something. I told you guys in my analysis, this is a big mistake I made in regards to my 5K funded. Gold is having almost 95% negative correlation. That's quite an opposite correlation with UJ. And so watching the two, it has to be the opposite happening. So if UJ is buying, expect a sell on gold. If gold is selling, expect a buy on UJ. But the magnitude of the move, you cannot determine, because gold will move as much as it wants to move when it's selling. And UJ having a negative, direct negative, almost 100% correlation on gold, will also move in its own magnitude. It's not going to be the same magnitude. And one mistake that I do is watching if gold is then going to sell. Let me put it better. What exactly happened this week is expecting a buy on UJ, which is quite the opposite on gold, which is going to be sells. So I was like, okay, let me look for sells on gold. And this happened. The magnitude of buys that was happening on UJ wasn't the same magnitude of sells that was happening on gold. In this week, this just ended week, Monday was a very good day for gold. It dropped massively sells. But the subsequent days, it was playing around, which I was expecting more sells. But then UJ was giving me buys. If you can see it right here, UJ was just giving me buys, like buy here, came down here, went up here, came down here, went up here. And I was expecting quite the same thing on gold, and I'll switch to gold soon. But I wasn't even seeing it. And then Friday, I was just expecting the market to move massively on Friday. I took the trade from midnight Thursday on gold sells. I've never seen any move. Now I had the opportunity to close the trades. I closed it to look for another opportunity. But instead of me, I came back to see UG, and UG was giving me this current accumulation here. Let me delete this. This current accumulation here. I saw it, instead of translating that same accumulation into looking for buys on, because that's a possible accumulation phase for sales. So there should also be a possible accumulation for buys on gold. Instead of me to look for buys on gold, I was just looking for sells. My bias was stagnant, and it wasn't very, I couldn't make it flexible. And that's a big mistake. And so having to deal with these two pairs, I need to kind of have that flexible switch, same analysis, but just turn it upside down. And that is very difficult to do. It will take you time. That is if you want to be trading both at the same time. But to me, I've always been thinking trading both pairs that has opposite correlation, 95, almost 100%, is almost like doing the same thing on different pairs. So I have to make a big decision. Either let one go and trade one. I like UJ. Gold is very fast. I like gold as well. It moves very fast. It's nice. But UJ, see what UJ just did. UJ dropped massively. Gold bought massively. And from UJ, I'm going to gold. So what will be, I just break down what happened last week, or this just ended week. What will happen next week? What will happen next week? I think this sales is too massive. And it's very massive, and it's so nice that if you were in this sales, you would have made a lot of money, yeah. But possible drop here, and then a pullback here, then maybe a possible drop here. This is my analysis on UJ, and I'm done. Now let's go to gold. SAU, you have to be very fast, because I've kind of no. Okay, let me just use this. Weekly, I told you guys that, look, gold on a monthly time frame is not really looking good. You see these candles, doji candles. This is a new month, guys. Don't forget, this is a new month. So all of these candles, this huge candle that you are seeing right now in this new month is a candle that has formed using not more than 3 days. And so this candle can still come down because it is not closed fully. It has like 27 days, 21 hours to close. And so we still have time. So all of these can also crash down or tank down. Those who understand. Like the same way this candle make a huge move to this place, is the same way that, because it wasn't closed at the time that it made a huge move to this place, with time everything dropped to the middle of, or more than the middle of this candle, more than half of it to the downside. It's the same thing. This candle moved up again, but because it didn't close there by, because the month hasn't ended yet, it took some time, it retraced, and at a point it even went down like this. So a candle must close before you judge it. That's one thing you need to know. So this candle, it is not closed yet, so it can still tank and come down, but it will require time to do that. Notwithstanding, go to the weekly. What do I think will happen on gold? It will take a lot to say. This candle successfully, I think, has closed on a daily when the market opens. I think these highs here, there is a high here Okay, we came to touch it multiple freaking times. First touch, second touch, third touch, fourth touch. And this move is a possible move. And look at what has also happened here over time. This move here, okay? The market feels very difficult to break below this particular structure. Breaks below, enters into it again, comes into it, bounce, 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 bounce. What is possibly to happen is, if gold is going to continue buying next week, it's going to buy to 3,440 thereabout. Anything more than that, I cannot say. Yes, being honest, anything more than that, I cannot say yet because of the way gold is behaving. But it has higher potentials of doing that. Anything more than that, I cannot say. So you see that UJ, the pair that I just analyzed, sold massively. You see that gold also bought massively. There's a direct opposite correlation between these two pairs. So at a point, I was just here and selling here. I was just looking for sales from here, bro. The market really didn't favor me. And I made series of mistakes. Look, you don't joke with me when I say this is going to sell, this is going to buy. It will happen. But do not cloud your thoughts. Hindering your, giving you hindrance in your decision making. That's one of hell of a thing that you do when you are a trader. Okay, so let's bring it back. And the sales weren't coming because I was just anticipating the downside like this. The sales weren't coming. And then look, dance around. This accumulation that was happening here was the same accumulation that I shown you on UJ. And look what has happened. Boom, to the upside. But there should be a drop from here. Let me do it better. Like a drop from here. And the reason why I'll say there's going to be a drop from here to here. And then maybe go up further. Is this. Because of these resistance area. The market doesn't go up like a straight line, so there should be like a pullback and all of that in there. So let me just take care of everything. So the call I made, gold to 3,440 thereabout. If it's gonna go there before next week ends. Let's go to BTC USD. I made some calls, beautiful calls on BTC USD. Let's go there ASAP. Exactly what I want to happen on Bitcoin is what is happening. I told you guys, and whenever I make a call on Bitcoin, you don't joke with it. Whenever I make a call on Bitcoin, you don't joke with it. And you could see, just see, next week is going to be a hell of a news. A lot of news in there. What is going to be this news? ISM, they are not really crazy. Core inflation rate. I mean, it's new month, so PPI next week. Lord bless us next week. Let next week be very beautiful, Lord. Because, look, I'm in the drawdown right now on my funded account, like 4% down. So, trust me, if you are in my shoes, you need a good week to bounce back from a 4% drawdown. Bitcoin worst case scenario is going to be 109 before it bounces. And look, you need a pullback. Before we can go up, it's like a plane that is getting ready to take off. It needs to go on the runway for a long time. Go on the runway for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. A lot of minutes, and boom. Then it starts skyrocketing. That's what Bitcoin needs right now. So worst case scenario, like I said, Bitcoin, whatever I said is happening right now. Bitcoin needs to crash to, the worst case scenario is 107,000. That's the worst case scenario, right? Take my words for it. I mean, it's for educational purposes only. But then, if you play with my words too, then you might be playing with fire at the end of the day, So let me just leave Bitcoin. Let's do Ethereum USD. I told you how beautiful Ethereum was looking. It's basically going to mimic what Bitcoin did, but it's still positive for Ethereum. If I have any investment, I'll make it go all into Ethereum because Look, Ethereum has future. A lot of it. A lot of it. And Ethereum is doing a lot of magic. Ethereum went to 3,000, almost 4,000. Jesus Christ, come on. This pains me a lot because I mean, a lot of people are preach about Ethereum too. Man, come on. When everything is said and done on these pairs, when a bull run sets in, everything is said and done, now people will be begging you to teach them. What should I invest in? By that time, time is far gone. I mean, tell you for a fact. This is a time to go into all of these cryptocurrencies and all of that. If you don't go into them, time will be far gone. Even if it's $1, you can put it into a meme coin or a coin anywhere. Just do that before it's too late. There's no really like a right time, so to say. Every time is right. I bought some of the coins when they were even so high. I bought them, But when you get in very early, it makes you get some good returns, though. I'm not even going to say a lot. What I'm going to say is Ethereum 2 should crash to. Ethereum is not going to drop that much. I'm not going to lie. 3,000, 2,900 thereabout. Somebody will ask, why is it that Ethereum wouldn't crash much? Because I said so. Buddy, because I said so, bro. Let me show you the reason why Ethereum wouldn't crash much. Because Ethereum has set into like a bullish phase, and it will just require there's a lot of accumulation here already, so it will just require some dancing around for it to just go skyrocket. Boom. Let's look at Doge. Basically, all of these cryptos will be doing the same thing. So maybe Doge, US dollar, yeah. Like I said, it's just basically going to be doing the same thing. But look, Dogecoin to more than $2. When the bull run comes, like proper bull run, it is what it is. Honestly, let me look at Euro GBP USD will do. That's one of my favorite pairs when I was trading Forex, like favorite. Like saying I like UJ right now. That's how I used to fuck with, GU. Like it was crazy. Now patterns have changed, character of the pair has changed, so you have to be very much skillful to trade it, It doesn't mean I'm not trading it because I'm not that skillful, but it's just that I want something that with my strategy has no struggle. Yes. It has to be a system, not about your feelings or what you like. I can trade UJ for like a year or 2 or 3, and I'll change it to gold mainly because my strategy matches up with gold perfectly. It is what it is, Trading has to be like that. If your strategy is not working on a pair, doesn't mean you need to force everything. No, it doesn't work like that. So you see GU, massive push. Even this push, I said it's massive, but it's not really massive. Like what happened on UJ and all of that. So you see, you kind of control kind of the magnitude of how the momentums, my goodness, these are too much jargons, happen on all of these instruments. You cannot control. Because if you compare the pips here and the pips on UJ and the pips on gold, bro, it's crazy. That is why people like to stick with gold. Just the best, one of the currency pairs that can match up with gold boot to boot when it comes to pips. A bit, like can match up a bit. Not so crazy matchup, but like a bit. It's UJ. And maybe some of the CHF pairs. I'm giving you guys juice, so I'm not just talking too much. A lot of juice in here. What do I think of GU? GU is going to go up. Probably to a point, just to a point, and maybe start crashing to the downside unless it breaks above that. So GU is likely to make it to 1.33698 or 1.33700, something like that. So that's it. Before maybe it drops to the down further, but if it breaks above that zone, this zone that I just, or resistance area here, we are going up, quickly up. No time to freaking waste. So that's it. GU. Let me see something about GU in a 15-minute time frame. Wow. GU is not moving like those days. Like those days, bro. You see, when a new trader is listening to me talk like that, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? Those days, bro, like years back. GU is like the order of the day. It moves now, but not like those days. What should I do? Let me do EURUSD. Another hell of a pair. It's very fast. You know, the character of pairs change over time. A pair like EJ moves very fast, but now look at the spread. When the market closes, it's too wide. Even at 9 p.m. when the market has to transition, that 1 hour overlap, something like that, the spread is too wide. So if you were in a drawdown, your stop loss is set somewhere, just know that you are going to be taken out with these crazy spreads. You know, it's too much. So taking you to the 4 hour, or to the monthly, sorry, I think a statement is being made here. We are in a resistance here, and if JPY is going to sell, then it's going to sell for a very long time. From the euro, with the euro, it has a lot of chance to sell. And trust me, a time back when I was watching EJ, I knew EJ was gonna come here, you know, and that's what it's doing. And so if you were swing trading that seriously, and wow, it's not perfect what I'm seeing here. It's not. It's crazy. I mean, the chart is choppy and all of that, but it's worth it when you catch it at a very reasonable point or entry. So what do I think about EJ? I think EJ is supposed to sell. Yes, EJ is supposed to sell. Why? Because this accumulation here is like a head and shoulder for me. Yeah, it's a head and shoulder for me. Daily, let's see. Yeah, it's like a head and shoulder for me. So that's one thing. It's like a head and shoulder for me. So let's see what happens. It should sell for some time, then can now bounce back up. Yeah. Let's do EURUSD. Somebody will say I don't like drawing match lines when it's on the pair that I'm trading. Yeah, because I feel like it will be a lot of time being wasted. Yes. A little bit real quick. What do I think about EU? EU is having already a bullish momentum, so it means the euro is very stronger than the dollar in this case. And on a weekly time frame, or in the weekly time frame, there's a lot of choppy stuff happening here. I told you guys about EU last week. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I think last week is supposed to start from here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. And look what happened. So let's go to the daily. Okay. So last week wasn't supposed to start from here. Maybe I said this is gonna drop, but rather bought, or I don't know what I said actually. That is if I have touched on this pair. What do I think? This pair is likely to buy more to the current resistance zone here, or maybe touch down on the 61. Already is around 50. It's beyond 50%. You can look at it right now. This is beyond 50%. Swing high, swing low. This is 50% already. Yeah, I'm right. So let's see if we can push to 61.8 and then maybe drop. Push to 61.8 and drop. Push to 61.8. The worst thing that can happen to a trader is a trader that finds himself in a drawdown. That shit is very difficult. But I quite remember on one prop account, I was able to be in a drawdown of 9% and move the account from 9% came to break even and even passed the account. Yes, seriously. That's the prime me. But you see, those things, past performance cannot guarantee future performance. So it's some ways crazy. Let me do NASDAQ and then call it a day, or NASDAQ. So that's like an index right here. So or we see that NASDAQ. We have so many. We have USTech 100 and we have the US Tech 2, NAS 100. So let me click on the NAS 100. Selling massively. Selling massively. Selling massively. Selling massively. Sure. So trust me, the US dollar is going to bounce back. Let's lastly go to. So the US dollar is weak right now, but it's going to bounce back. Honestly, it's going to bounce back. Next week, it's going to try to gain some strength, and then we'll definitely have to lose it again because of the structure of the market. There is no way, I say it here, there's no way next week, the dollar is going to gain much strength. That strength is going to, let me put it here, it's going to come here and break like this. It's going to be very hard. If it can happen, it's going to be hard. It won't happen. But it can come up a bit to like 78.6, 61.8, and then drop. That is a possibility in time. My name is Shoda Nixon. I love to break down Forex trading in this manner. So Bitcoin to 110K, 19K, like I said, and that's it.